What's up, man? We chilling tonight. Hey. I need to feel tonight, man. Hey, man, where my radio, man? Yeah. I need you to turn that up. Jamming tonight. Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio. Yeah. Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio.
Pull the way up like we in a club. Fly flashy, grown classy, so turn to the dub. Saturday mornings, no walk of shame, we fresh up. 950 lounge, that's my guilty pleasure. I don't miss my favorite show, I put everything on hold. Work the baby, even the babysitter know. When 950 come on, don't bother. I'm locked in 10 to 1, no problem.
Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio. Yeah. Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio.
Our next guest is a young man that might look familiar to you. He's been on such shows as The Sopranos. He's done movies. He was even on Sesame Street. But you know him, ladies from Power.
Get out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Francisco Burgos. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Talk about Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. You didn't even get a chance to ask him a question. You just started going. Look at it. Look at it.
He wasn't on Sesame Street when you was watching it,
I know.
so he would be a mere
Bird still
mogul.
alive?
If I'm not, he should be. If I'm not mistaken. He was. I seen him. He was like an older white guy, and he had like this suit. It was like it was separated, but he was in there holding like different gadgets and stuff. I mean, he was
Smoking cigarettes. Hey, kid.
Probably right.
Beat it.
Nah, that's
Happened a while ago though. I was real young, maybe like 4 years old, around when I was 5 years old. And I remember I was on set with Elmo, Big Bird, if I'm not mistaken.
you had to watch Elmo, you know.
Yeah.
I heard about
Bert and Ernie too.
Y'all are horrible. How we started out like this? How y'all are
Because
horrible?
he heard Sesame Street, he went crazy.
When I found out
Sesame
about
Street
that,
is a
crazy.
classic,
Sesame
man.
Street is an institution.
It is an
that and the
institution.
electric company.
No, the electric company's for like people in their 50s like you.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody
I know
know
electric
electric.
companies.
Morgan Freeman's on
Morgan
electric.
Freeman, that was Easy Reader.
And Morgan Freeman's like 90 right now, so give it a break.
Still driving.
But any event, man, Francisco, thanks for coming. Listen, you,
Yeah, no problem.
obviously, as we know, just from what you said, you've grown up in front of a camera.
Yeah, I can say it's
So when you first started acting, I'm sure, like, I know your mother for a little bit, so I'm sure mom guided you. But what made you say, you know what, I can do this, I can act, I can perform? What was the origins of the start of, you know, your acting career?
Well, it all started when I was maybe 4 years old. I was on the set of Queen Latifah's Life Support with my mom because she was doing like background work at the time. She wanted to work at a place where she could watch me, be able to watch me, and not hire a babysitter where she could work and watch me at the same time.
Keep the money in the family,
Yeah,
right?
there you go. And we were there, and I had accompanied her for a part of the scene where they needed a kid in the background. And if you see it to this day, you'll see me like just in the back with the kids and stuff swinging around.
Right.
And I remember I was told on set to not look at the camera, and I was such a young age, like you're
fascinated, like,
yeah, wow, well, there's a
I
camera.
see
And I think,
myself.
oh my God.
Yeah.
And there was other kids with me, and the other kids were looking at the camera and just like being hard-headed and not listening, and I was the only one that was actually doing what was told.
Yeah.
So it ended up paying off because by the time we were on our way home, taking the train station, we had seen Queen Latifah about to get in her car, if I'm not mistaken, and she told my mom that I should get into acting because I did such a well job at it at such a young age,
Yeah.
and I paid attention and I took the notes very with precaution and stuff. So after that, my mom didn't know much about acting. She didn't know. She was just here doing the background work. She didn't know about actually the process
Getting
of
into
getting
it,
into
yeah,
it
yeah.
on a serious note. And I think we ended up finding an agent and everything. I think I got some headshots done, and then I booked The Sopranos. Like, was the first actual gig that I got, where on a professional standpoint of my career.
Now the 4 or 5 year old, you know, most 4 or 5. If you rodeo, I mean, you still eating glue.
Why are you
but
involved in me? When you
Listen, he's probably eating his Frosted
you probably
Flakes,
still eating glue now.
Captain Crunch, something like that of that nature.
But at a 4 or
5.
5 year old, you know, you just, you know, building blocks. You're on sets. You're actually a paid professional. How is that when you're on The Sopranos at the time? Sopranos was probably one of the greatest shows to ever be created for television.
It was.
So how is that when you go back home, family, Thanksgivings, and like Francisco's an actor, he's a star.
I mean,
how is that?
When I was young, it was I was praised a lot for I was able to make my family proud, which was amazing.
Of course.
But a thing when I was young, I wasn't really like I was doing it because it was just something that I guess I was good at. And it was fun. I didn't really think of it like as a profession. Like, oh yeah, I'm serious about this. Let me go to my email. Because I was so young. I was 5 years old. But I mean, being with my family, and then I had very supportive family. My aunt loved that I was acting, and she loved watching me on TV.
Mm-hmm. She probably bragged to all the girlfriends on the block. That's my nephew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sat at the table, got the big piece of chicken.
Yeah,
I probably bought the chicken, personally.
Oh well, we ain't gonna get on that one right now. You're trying to keep families together, not break them apart.
Yeah, let's keep it family together.
But at a young age, you go from Sesame Street to Sopranos. You're not just talking about, Boo Boo the Fool. These are major productions. And then from that, you get your first starring role, 2008, where you play an asthmatic kid on Explicit Ills by Mark Webber, who's an accomplished director. So, out the shoot in 4 years, you're making some waves.
Yeah.
As you're growing, as 8 and you're getting older, you've been on some sets, mom is more acclimated to the business. How has that developed for you? Is it like, well, you know what, I'm still Francisco from the Bronx, and I still play the fellas and do what I do? Or it's like, now it's like, I'm a thespian. I got to focus and play my roles.
I'll get into that. Oh, as far as the way I got into it, but I could speak on it. When I was playing the asthmatic kid in Explicit Ills, it was I was 8 years old, around 8 years old at that time, and I had to relocate to shoot. I went to Philadelphia to shoot. I had to, if I'm not mistaken, cut my hair too because I had like curls, but the kid had to have like no hair.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, it's like, it wasn't like this, so I'm good. I didn't have to sacrifice a lot. I didn't have to sacrifice a lot.
Okay.
But I did that, and shooting over there was amazing. I got to be with my mom, my sister for parts of the time, and I was just out of my element. I was doing something different. I was not in the Bronx, but I definitely wasn't at that age. I wasn't like again serious about it, like on some I can't have friends or I gotta separate myself from these people and just focus. I was just having fun at doing what I love to do.
No doubt.
And it wasn't until getting into that. It wasn't until I was 17 years old. Which we'll get into, but it wasn't until I was 17 years old where I actually told myself that acting is something that I really want to do on a serious standpoint, where I'm checking my own emails now. It's not my mom, and I'm talking to my own agency, to myself. I'm separating myself from people who really don't want the best for me, and I had to really grow and process that. And yeah, so when I was 17.
So from 14, because 14, young man, we starting to see ourselves, smell ourselves. So from 14 to 17, you were still just enjoying life, not really thinking about it, not saying maybe I should go to a school in New York for acting, or what's it, LaGuardia, I think it is? LaGuardia. Maybe I need to go, for high school, maybe I should just go to LaGuardia because I have this little bit of acting that I've been doing and I'm enjoying it, and maybe, apply myself or anything like that?
About when I was 14 to like 17, my early teenage years when I just hit high school, and I went to Roosevelt either Roosevelt on Fordham Road. I went there, and it was.
You laugh when you say that.
Exactly.
It's always been a bad school. You can say that.
It was a long time ago.
It looked just like Evander. I know the feeling. They all built the same.
It's one of those Clintons.
Clintons, Evanders, Trumans.
We got you the diploma.
Yeah, definitely. But I was my mom used to tell me all the time that I should go to it because it would be great for my career. It's where I could better my craft and my profession. It's a school for acting, and it's for the arts. But I never at that time from 13 to 17, when I was in Roosevelt, I was skipping a lot in school.
He was with the crew.
Basically, you was acting like the locals.
I was with the fellas.
I was like, I was smoking a lot. Like I turned into this crazy pothead. Like
I want you to hold that for a minute because I want to bring that because that's I want you to hold. You an actor, I want you to hold that because I want to go into that really deeply because that's when I met your mother around that time. So I'm gonna take a quick break.
No doubt.
I want to talk about that because I think with a lot of our audience, whether that's parents or kids listening, there's a message behind that.
Definitely.
Going to hold back and going to come back. Francisco Burgos, 9 Feet Lounge live on the Saturday. Come on back. Back on the ride, 9 Feet Lounge live.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, talking to actor Francisco Burgos. And before we went to break, we were talking about the Roosevelt years and the weeds. And that was a time where I met your mother, and your mother was, I don't know, some network event. We knew some of the same people from the media side, and she was looking at doing some fitness stuff. And we used to talk, and she said, I got this son, he's in acting, but he's going through some things now. And she had mentioned about, you know, hanging out. We won't dwell on into it, but it was a rough period. We'll put it that way. But I want you to kind of go into that for us, because as people who listen, as parents who listen and go like, you know, I have a child that does the same thing, had some great success early with whatever they were doing. Yours was acting, could have been anything else, sports or something, but yours was acting, and then went through a rough patch. What do you think contributed to that? Was it because you was a public school that maybe everybody was doing that and you just want to be a part of the crew? Was it where you just felt like, you know what, I'm tired of demands? What kind of brought that on after having such young success? What kind of brought that period of strife for you?
I'll tell you this, I think it was mainly the people that I was surrounded by, and I was not a leader. I was much more of a follower. So I was just held to the influence. I didn't raise above it. I was just held to it, and I thought whatever my friends were doing, I should be doing as well. It wasn't a thing where I was just a pathway because I was depressed or I didn't want to do it no more because I didn't like it. I literally I felt like I just felt destructed. As soon as I hit 9th grade year, halfway through, that's when I started, everything was different. It wasn't like middle school. So I was like, I got this freedom. And I was just like, oh, I'm with these new people that I just met. You know, I want to have a good impression on them.
Now, like you said, you know, in 9th grade, was it you wanted to fit in? Was it peer pressure, or you just wanted to act out?
It was much more peer pressure, a little bit of acting out as well, but it was mainly peer pressure, and I think that just led me on to do the things that I was doing, and it took over my whole thinking process. And like I said, that's when I was cutting school, which I've never did before. Smoking weed not only outside but even inside the auditoriums of Roosevelt. I'm saying that now.
So more of a defiance, like you know what? So what?
So what? Since it had like about 4 or 5 floors, I would go to like other floors when I'm not supposed to be there in other schools just to go talk to the girls with my friends and stuff like that.
Look at you.
We ain't got nothing to do with that.
That's right. We ain't got nothing to do with that. My man, this is what you're supposed to go do.
But and all this while I was supposed to be in class, and I would just show up like 15 minutes before it ended, and from an hour class. And
wait, and they would allow you in the classroom?
They would give me trouble about it, call the principal and stuff, but I mean, at that time I didn't care. I was just like, just mac it out and just be in class with my hoodie on and just go to sleep. I would probably be high or something. And
no, go ahead.
Okay. And it was a point where my principal actually came up to me a couple times, and my mother had to come in, and this is when she had my little brother at the time as well. She was telling me that I didn't look the same anymore, that I looked drugged out, my face was dry, I had all these crazy bags, and I was skinny as hell, and she said that I didn't look the same when I first came in here. And that actually kind of touched me in a way, but in another way I was just like, she's just talking. So I was like, it's whatever.
Before you go that rodeo, and during this period, like, again, I didn't know your mother that well.
Yeah.
We had just met, but for somebody to just like, she used to, again, like I said, just tell me these stories. So I know it was breaking her heart. Plus you had younger siblings that looked up to you. When you went home, okay, we know about school and hanging out and the peer pressure, but the boys ain't there in the house, in the kitchen, at dinner, in the bed. What was the thought in the house? Where mom says, look, Francisco, you're up. Did that even click yet at that time? I know eventually it did, but did that at that time click that, you know what, I'm really letting the people that love me down?
Yeah, she would tell me all the time, like, try to influence me in a better way than my friends did or the people around me did, and all the time she would just be in my head and tell me, this isn't what you should be doing. You should be on a better path. Look, you came up with such success, and now you're just letting it all go straight to the hole.
Right.
And she would tell me that all the time, and I really just didn't care at the time. I was always high. I really was just oblivious to the fact that I was hard-headed.
You was in your own world.
Yeah, I was in my own world. And now that I look at it to this day, I'm 18 now, and I look back on it, I'm just like, it's crazy how I literally shut it off my old self and turn into a new person.
But maybe you needed to go through that. Maybe you needed
That's
to
what I'm saying.
learn, you
Yeah.
know, because now, and a lot of actors that get into it in the game at this age, that's what they get into. Or you even see a lot of these rappers, unfortunately, when they get into it, the 17, 18-year-olds, they get into it, and all of a sudden, this is getting thrown at them, that's getting thrown at them. You have already seen it.
There you go.
So you already know as you progress that person
It's
is
over.
gone. So maybe that was a good 4-year span for
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
You learned early where it didn't really hurt you as much. So now you got a better focus on what you can do and how you can do it.
It is true. Everything happens for a reason, and
Yeah.
I feel like I had to go through those tribes and revelations so that I can be able to tell my story to my demographic and be
Yeah.
able to inspire and motivate others. And I'm always posting stuff on Instagram or on social media about my story and stuff. Of how I elevated and changed my ways, you know, to better my life. And then people have actually hit me up, even guys hitting me up from the Bronx saying, oh man, I'm going through this, such and that, and I'm guiding help and I'm seeking help, and is there any way that you can help me? And I'm always like helping the brothers out, you know, because that's what it's for.
Respect.
Like I can act and I can do all this stuff, have fame and everything that I've dreamed for, but if I'm not giving back in a way, it don't make any sense.
Yes, sir.
My question is to you, what day did you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I gotta make a change because my life is conspiring? I think everybody remembers that day or that specific time,
Yeah.
what they were doing when they made a change. What day was it when you decided that, yo, this is not me, I gotta do it for myself?
I think I was about to turn 17, if I'm not mistaken. I was in credit recovery school, and to be able to act if you're under the age of 18, you need a child's workers permit. So where the principal needs to stamp and say that you're meeting guidelines in school.
Wow.
Without
So-
that, you're not acting. It's
so-
illegal for you to
yeah,
act.
right.
It's a child's workers permit, and I didn't have that, and I didn't care at the time when I was in Roosevelt. But so, my mom, I think not my mom, because at that time she had let it go. She was like, you know what, it's over. She had totally gave up on me. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
But I had a girlfriend at the time, Autumn Garrett, and I'm still with her to this day. And she was telling me, what's that term, muse? The
Yes.
muses that help the people with the
Yes,
music. and
yes,
stuff.
your muse,
Like,
right,
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
like that, but for the acting in a way, in a certain way. I still had a friend named Jeffrey, my childhood friend Jeffrey from the Bronx as well. And he would tell me, he's an artist now, and he would tell me, oh, you should get back into the acting, bro. Like you always did it, and I always
Right.
I was always like, proud of you. Like that's something you should always do. I've always had it behind my head, and also my mother in a certain way. And those three people right there just telling me, even people in high school in Roosevelt used to tell me, and I didn't like it at that time. I thought acting, I'm like, I didn't want them to know that I was acting and stuff. I
Right.
thought it was
Nah,
not cool.
yeah.
Like no,
Yeah,
man, put
I'm
that
a
away.
G.
Yeah, I'm a G. Man. Yeah, so with all that being said, when
You're
I
acting
went,
like a damn fool right now.
yeah. When I had went to credit recovery school, and I told my principal told me I just need 2 credits, right, in summer school to get. If I get those easy credits, just come to summer school, do your work, I'll stamp it for you, and you'll start acting again easily. And I said, you know what, I'll do it. I woke up every morning that summer. I got my work done. I did my homework. I literally studied. I woke up early. Excuse me. I got there on time every day, did my thing, and I honestly, after all that, he really stamped it, and then that's when I said, like, this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
Like I said, if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
That's the motto I went with all the time, the whole way through it. And that's when I ended up booking Power and stuff. That was like the first gig I booked as a real official gig. Well, I did like 2.
Did 2 decent movies, bro.
No, he meant after he came out the coma.
No, the Tidbits with
Tibbets.
Tibbits.
Oh, that was in 2012. That's before.
This is after this is after the fact.
Remember, I started as a child.
Yeah, that's right.
I started as a child actor, and I should have kept going, but things happen in life,
course.
and then Power was the first thing I booked as a 17-year-old.
Right.
I was 17-year-old. So.
Not to get overly spiritual on this, but you talk about a situation where, like he mentioned Tibbet, and you go through that lull, and then the first thing you come out, you pick up from like where Sopranos left off to now another great, maybe in the top 10 shows of all time on cable, Power. When you go on that set and you meet that cast, and now you're a young man, you're not a kid anymore, you really know what's going on.
Yeah.
What's that experience like?
I remember like yesterday, I remember they had told me to come in for a script read for the episode 1 of season 5, and they were contacting me and my mom. My mom wasn't able to make it early with me because I think she was working or taking care of my little brother.
Right.
She was doing something. And when I had went over there and got there, I took the elevator up. It was in Steiner Studios in Brooklyn. It's like this big studio where they shoot most of their scenes, and even other casting companies, they shoot a lot of stuff there.
Yep.
I went to like the third floor, and it said the Power script read table and all that. Once you go in, it's a big table, and all I see is 50 Cent, Omari Hardwick, Michael Rainey Jr., Leela Lauren, Lorenz Tate, and I was just like, wow, like
this is for real now, huh?
Right.
It's crazy. And I was just like thinking, like, I haven't done this in so long. The last gig I had was when I was Tibbetts in 2012, right?
Yeah.
Nation Call. So I'm like, I'm 18. I'm 17 now. It's been years. And I'm just like, wow, the nerves is running and stuff, but it's good nerves. It's not bad. So it's like
riding a bike.
Yeah, I was just like, wow. So at the time, there was like the big table, like the round table where they go and do their script read, and then like a couple seats, I guess, for the parents or whoever's there for some reason. And I thought I had to sit with them. And then when I look at the table next to Michael Rainey Jr., it says Francisco Burgos. So I was like, wow, I can actually have my own little calling card with Abel, my name. I got the chair.
So you're absorbing all this, even as you're going, like, I'm professional. I'm like, hey, Lorenz.
I didn't think at the time, I was like, okay, I was going to go sit with the parents. And then I look at the table, Francisco, I'm like, oh.
You ain't sitting with the parents, you sitting with the big boys.
Yeah. So I ended up sitting there, and then we did the script read. It went well. What's this guy, Joseph Sikora?
Yes.
He had told me, he said, hey, Francisco, welcome to the team, just like that, in a nice, well-mannered, and he literally welcomed me. 50 Cent also welcomed me to the team. He had told me, hey, what's your name? I said, Francisco Burgos. He said, well, you from the Bronx, right? And he's like, I could tell it in your accent. I was like, yeah. And I was just thanking him for giving me an opportunity to showcase my talent across a worldwide platform.
That means you're going to be in season 6.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family.
I just got a question. How did you get on Power?
I had an audition that I got from my agency. This is when I showed them that I wanted this.
You was back, right?
I was back because they weren't messing with me before because they
saw it in you, yeah.
Yeah, but when they knew I was back, they had sent me an audition. I think this is when the fourth season had finished, maybe like a couple weeks after. It said appointment. Not a self-tape, but a next day appointment for Francisco Burgos for Stars. It said Power, but it didn't say Stars actually. Then I look, and then it said Stars in parentheses, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Because truth be told, before I even got the audition, I binge watched the whole show, the whole season actually, the whole season 4. From 1 to season 4, and I used to get told to watch the show, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna watch it. And when I seen it, I was like, wow, like this is an amazing show.
Yeah.
I had borrowed my friend Star's account. I binge watched it, and I said, as an actor now that I'm serious about this, as a teenage actor, if I can be on any TV show, it would have to be Power.
Wow.
And for that to be the first gig that I booked as a teenager is crazy. I literally spoke that into existence, and that's what I try to tell people all the time.
Yeah.
Speak things into existence because the universe literally listens, and
no doubt.
Anything that you think and process in your brain, you attract.
Yes.
So that being said, I got the audition. It was a next day appointment. I had to play the role of Abel. It was a pivotal scene between me and Tommy, Joseph Sikora.
Yeah.
And I just studied my lines. I was there with my friends. We were playing at the time, but I just cut all that off, went to my room, and went into the room to embody the character to the best of my ability. The next day, I had to go like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I went there. The nerves were running. I seen a couple of my friends in there. I was like, what's up? Nobody buddy no more. Let me get in there. Let me do my thing. And I went in there, did it. And I think about 3 days later, I got not the call back to go back again, but like saying that I booked it from my agency, and it was amazing. I was just in shock. Me and my mother got the call. She was kicking me and stuff in shock. So it was amazing.
Now, how did you prove to your agency that you was back?
So it started. Autumn, my friend, she had came and took a couple images of me. Not images, headshots of me, right, with my curly hair out and stuff like that. It wasn't all that, but it was something just to get back, a professional photo from not when I was young.
Right.
An older photo.
Manhood.
Yeah, definitely. So I did it in my house. We got like a nice little background in the house, and then I did the photo shoot, the headshot there. She took it, I put my name on it, edited it, sent it out to my agency. I said, hey, here are these new headshots that I took for you guys. in case you guys needed new headshots, you know, just to update it and keep it updated so the castings can know how I look now. I wrote them even, is there any acting classes that I can take? I was always on top of them. And they were like, hey, thank you, Francisco. We appreciate this. And we'll be looking forward to getting you more work back, you know, getting you back on track and all that stuff. And then after that, like, they just started sending me out.
So after you clicked it, turned it on, and you was like, all right, now let me go back into it.
Which I'm sure you know and Mom knew that this kid's got talent. So they probably was waiting, they were hoping that the reincarnation of Francisco would come back, and it came back even stronger. So now Power's over, you've done Power.
Yeah.
You're now, people know you, probably get touched on the street every time.
Now he's gonna do Empire. He look like he could do Empire. He could be one of Akeem's friends.
He's going bigger than that. The reality is this.
It's about to go off.
The reality is this, you've done Power, you moved from that. Where you're going, and you're now a young man. Like you mentioned, you're in control of what you're doing. You know the people you want around you. You have a clear path on your future and your success.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for Francisco? You can close your eyes, or whenever you meditate and put your thoughts in mind and put that focus of universe in mind. What's the next step as an actor for you? If you can pick a role, give me a role that if you can pick, that maybe, and I'm sure you've already probably played this in your head a million times, so it's probably an easy question, where you can say, you know what, I want to do this, I want this person to direct me, and I want it to be this type of film. What is it?
There's two things I would like to do. One of them will have to be to a point where I can pick and choose a film where it'll be like a pivotal film, like a film that has deeper meaning, where I could tell a story. I would love to do that, like a known story that comes, that I'm able to produce as well, like something that comes to mind, maybe a biopic, who knows, of my story.
Die Hard 8.
Right? Yeah.
Mom, I'm coming up to the building to get you.
He's a little slow.
That, or of course playing a superhero. I wouldn't mind being a, you know.
This is the time right now.
Yeah.
This is
Why
the time.
not? I'm 18 years old, you know. I'm young and fresh and just trying to look for, you know, that good work. So I think, being a Latino superhero would be amazing.
So now, when's the move to LA?
Move to LA. I've had a lot of talks about that, but I haven't done it yet because what I'm waiting on doing is waiting on booking a role where I have to relocate to LA, which will be maybe the best idea for me, because New York, Atlanta, and LA are the hubs. Those are like the tri-state of
movies.
Right. Yeah, for casting and all that stuff. Like everyone's in Atlanta, everyone's in New York, and all the castings are in LA. So those are the best places to be. So being the fact that I'm in New York, all I have to do is go downtown or send like self-tapes to LA or Atlanta. It's amazing.
The world's so much smaller now with technology.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you need to leave New York, and because some people like, I gotta leave New York to go big, to go to LA, to be in LA, to be in that scene, to be with all that.
I think it would be cool to like go there for maybe a couple weeks to test it out and try it out, you know, new water. But I think my agency is Innovative Artists. They're amazing. They get me work about every week. They're always sending me for self-tapes for like Netflix series, big major films, good roles, and I hold such high praise for them because they've been with me since I was 12 years old. So I feel like they're an amazing agency. I already booked 3 gigs with them of this year, 2018, and I'm looking to book more.
Now you say people have any reality TV came to you when you maybe to be in any type of reality shows, anything?
No, and even if they did, I would say no.
Smart young man.
My man, stay away from that check. Leave that bag alone.
Yeah. I'm good. That's not something that I'm looking forward to.
I'm too past that.
Yeah. And not throwing any shade to you, because everybody.
No, throw the shade, brother. No.
Just sometimes
we got you, all right? We
Francisco, don't throw no shade. You're in the right path.
Throw the shade sometimes.
Don't listen to these guys.
I gotta work.
Right.
Without question, hey man, listen, I gotta thank you again for coming on this show.
Definitely. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having
need a good pair of sunglasses because your future is
No
really
5-year
bright.
plan?
Thank you.
No, he already has that in place.
Oh, okay.
I mean, again.
Wait. I got one more before you leave.
Go ahead.
Give me 3 actors you want to work with, or actresses that you want to work with.
Number 1, it'll have to be Leonardo DiCaprio. He's dope. I love his films. Will Smith, of course, that's another guy I'd like to work with, and Michael B. Jordan. Those three.
I already wanted, they want him to be Superman.
Yeah, if they want to be
Yeah.
Superman. I mean, it's cool. It's dope. You know.
Yeah.
No Denzel.
The first.
You know what I'm saying?
Denzel's cool,
old, bro.
No, he's cool. I mean,
Maybe Denzel's
Yeah,
son.
he's cool. He's cool.
Wait,
In what, the Equalizer 7?
No, I mean Denzel.
When he's in the clutch?
I mean
Those are just-
Denzel like Alonzo. You want to go home or you want to do what?
nah, man. Listen. I love Denzel, man, but those three right there are the people
Right.
that I really want to work with.
He's 18.
Yeah,
Denzel's like
especially Michael
60.
B.
Let him live.
Denzel still, don't.
Nah, Denzel's real.
He still got his parking lot.
Yeah, shout out to Denzel.
Francisco, when can people reach out to you, man? Learn more about you, talk to you on social media.
You guys can catch me on Instagram at official Francisco Burgos, on Twitter at FBurgos the actor, and my full name is Francisco Burgos. If you guys ever forget the social media handles.
Okay.
A young man who's been through it and is excelling, and like I said, a good pair of sunglasses needed. Job well done, Mom.
Season 6.
Francisco Burgos, ladies and gentlemen.